When George Floyd died under the knee of a Minnesota police officer, the nation took notice. The outcry and now the verdict are a departure from hundreds of cases that never received worldwide attention. Debates over deadly force are often shaded by split-second, life or death decisions, but there's another group of cases that often get less attention. They involve a type of prolonged restraint. Police use it, security guards use it, mental health facilities use it. Tonight, we're presenting an 11 News investigation in partnership with our parent company, Tegna. We've spent months putting together the pieces of a story that has left far too many people prone.
You go to get help and then you die. How does that happen?
Eugenia Stewart's brother is among many people who called for help or went to get help and wound up dead.
I'm just angry because I feel like it's happening so much and nobody's doing anything about it.
Tauheed Rashad Rollerson came from California to be with his large family over Thanksgiving in 2018. But he forgot his medicine to control his bipolar disorder. After a hospital transfer, he ended up at Bridgeway Mental Treatment Facility. Video shows Rashad died under the weight of at least 3 men holding him down.
He went to the hospital in Conway, which they sent him to Bridgeway, and then he just never left there.
The Derek Chauvin trial brought to light the dangers of chokeholds and restraint techniques. Rashad's case illustrates how, all too often, the dangers are ignored in facilities and on the streets. Arkansas is no exception. The guilty verdicts in the Chauvin trial are a rarity. A police officer is heading to prison for murder for using what he tried to say was a legal maneuver. But police and anyone who deals with taking people into custody should be well aware of the danger. The U.S. Department of Justice, in 1995, warned officers of what it called a little-known phenomenon called positional asphyxia, or death as a result of body position that interferes with one's ability to breathe. In 2003, the topic made it into this New York City police training video. The message was simple. As soon as a prone suspect is handcuffed, get him off his stomach.
Get off him. Get him on his side. Get him upright.
Jack Ryan spends the majority of his year training police officers around the country. He says if an officer or guard isn't aware of the risk by now, they aren't paying attention.
As I've said in training at times that we ought to have that printed on the dashboard of the police car or maybe tattooed to the back of everybody's hand.
4 cases in Arkansas are among the 100 deaths our investigation found across the country that followed prone restraint, all since 2010. Conway police faced the situation twice in 7 months. Jaleel Medlock in July 2019 and Lionel Morris in February 2020. They both fit a pattern seen in piles of autopsy reports and hours of surveillance video. Officers respond, officers get control, officers have to scramble.
You can talk, you can breathe, chill out. We got an ambulance.
In the case of Lionel Morris, who ran and fought with police inside a grocery store, the county prosecutor pointed to the drugs in Morris's system as a main cause of his death. Like dozens of cases before George Floyd, all officers involved have been cleared in part because of those findings.
In reviewing this incident, I recognize that there are things as a police department we can do better. And these are things that we will do better.
Mental illness or a mental health episode is a factor in more than half of the cases in our investigation. That's why, in hindsight, with George Floyd and other cases now well documented, Rashad's sister remains shocked at his fate. Cops under pressure on the street is one thing, but Stewart wonders how nurses and orderlies would end up holding him down for so long.
They held my brother down for 6 minutes. On his face.
Stewart is suing the Bridgeway and the individuals involved. Lawyers for the facility wouldn't comment because of the pending lawsuit. They all deny they were negligent and say Rashad consented to care and treatment and assumed the risks. Stewart told me the facility initially said Rashad had meth in his system, but Stewart says an autopsy came back and confirmed what she knew. Her brother was a devout Muslim and never drank or used illicit drugs. Now she and her lawyer have experts ready to testify that the staff failed to abide by recognized standards of care. Experts who have raised alarms for medical facilities and police for decades.
I couldn't imagine the pressure of that. Several people holding you down that long. He was just there to get some help. he didn't get the help that he needed.
The final 2 individuals involved in Rashad's death filed answers with the court just last week. A trial date is still far off. As for the city of Conway, they sent us copies of the training manuals all of the officers go by in that department. We offered them a chance to detail any reforms they've made, but they are resting for now on the statements made in their incident review video. Many cities often face lawsuits in cases like this. In fact, a case from 2012 is on hold in Little Rock, but so far Conway has not faced any litigation after the deaths of Lionel Morris or Jaleel Medlock. Civil rights advocates there say both men had no family that they're aware of and thus no estate that would come forward seeking accountability or money for their deaths.